Am I the a-hole for telling my drywall guy to stop bugging my babysitter? Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell button to never miss any of our future videos. We are doing some house renovations and so workers are in the house. Today two guys were putting up drywall in the living room while our babysitter is playing with our daughter in the family room while I'm working in my downstairs office. I hear the drywall guy asking personal questions to my babysitter until her answers started getting short and her tone changes, i.e., guy, so where do you live? Her, north of here. Guy, yeah but where? Her, it's kind of a weird spot. That's when I finally walked upstairs and told him, what is this? The census? She's watching my kid. Let her be. I thought I did it in a joking manner but I guess it came off harsher than I intended. My wife promptly informed me I was an a-hole to the guy and the babysitter had it under control. I get that white knighting is a thing and that I may be out of touch with where I should be putting my foot down, so I'll leave the verdict all of you. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, and big blessings to you. Your babysitter probably felt obligated to remain polite while working. You the real MVP. Absolutely. I didn't take it as white knighting, and especially if your babysitter is a teenager younger woman it was likely appreciated. Teenage me certainly wasn't confident enough to shut down creepy dudes, and I would have felt relieved knowing someone who employs me had my back in that kind of way. Don't doubt yourself for a second. OP. Not the a-hole. This was the exact right thing to do. Agreed. If she was giving off the vibe that she did not want that attention and she was in your house, you were absolutely justified in telling them off. Whoever is in your house is under your protection. I like that. Under my house and under my protection. Has a come and partake in salt and bread vibe. I'm going to steal that from you. Not the a-hole. That's creepy. Likely better to have said please don't interrupt my babysitter. She has her hands full with her work and needs to be fully focused on my child. But what you said is fine. And it's certainly not appropriate to have the babysitter fend for herself. If she is working in your home, it is your job to ensure other folks also working in your home respect her and don't act creepy. I like that wording. Thank you for your input. Not the a-hole. You hired this guy to work, not spend time chatting up your babysitter. You were not in any way out of line for intervening and giving your babysitter an out for a conversation that was becoming uncomfortable for her. I'm sure the babysitter could have handled it, but that's not the point. It was not her job to manage his behavior, it was yours. And you did. It was not her job to manage his behavior. That is well said. Thank you for your input. Not the a-hole at all. As a woman I applaud you doing that. Women can and should speak up when creepy guys are bugging them. But in my experience, sometimes it's just not that easy when you've been raised to be a people pleaser who doesn't hurt others' feelings or say no. I can see how it would be difficult to speak up in this situation, though. She was at work. The drywall guy was also hired by her employer. She had no idea how he'd react if she called him out on being creepy. What if he started yelling? What if he started cursing at her in front of the kid? Of course, in those situations, the guy would be in the wrong. But I can understand her being afraid of causing a scene at work in someone else's home. Exactly. That's why it was good for OP to speak up, and I don't find it white knighting at all. Not the a-hole. In fact, this isn't new suit area for employers covered by employer's liability insurance, an add-on to an employer's general liability policy to cover failure to protect your employees from harassment from other employees or vendors of the company. X. Delivery guy harassing a CSR at the front desk. Crazy to think this could be the employer's fault, but there have been cases. So, technically, you could be held liable for his actions and did exactly the right thing, if not also possibly asking him to get off your property. Not the a-hole who the duck thinks they deserve to know where someone lives, rapists and murders, which is why there is so much of a push to instill duck politeness. Women are told to ignore those little feelings of not right for politeness sake, as if being polite to a guy who's going to stalk or rape or murder you is going to matter to anyone else. If something is uncomfortable, act on your instincts. If your gut lied to you, you can always say sorry not sorry at a later date. Not the a-hole. OP. Stay sexy, don't get murdered. Not the a-hole. You're paying that guy to do a job and bothering the babysitter, ain't it? Not the a-hole. As a former 16-year-old girl who was routinely hit on by men older than my father, I can almost guarantee you that this babysitter was extremely uncomfortable and didn't know a safe way to defuse the situation, especially as she was in charge of kids at the time. Young women especially are socially conditioned to brush off men's comments so as to not make a fuss, and in doing so totally normalize predatory behavior. I wish someone like you had been looking out for me when I was her age. Update from the original poster. We spoke about the situation just before she left. I apologized to her for the weirdo and let her know he won't be back. To quote her, "The thirsty ones never get the hint." The most eye-opening takeaway from this was when she told my wife and I, "If you think that was bad, you should check out my DMs." Her Instagram messages are from people who should be put on the sex offender registry. Guys offering her $700 a week to hold them. Guys she has never met offering to buy her plane tickets, and straight up D-pics. How are D-pic people not out on the sex offender registry? It's just street flashing with less effort. It's insane, and it's apparently just a norm with the way she brushed it off. My wife is deflecting from whether I am still the a-hole, but I'll take what I can get. In her defense, even the babysitter noted that while my comment was funny, my tone was actually straight up yelling at the guy. It's a give and take like anything in this world.